All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Hour. We've got your weekly rankings, your news and notes, your top streamers, giving you that start-sit action. We'll be right back after this.
The Fantasy Six Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Bob and AJ Applegarth.
Touchdown! All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me tonight, as usual, AJ Applegarth and Corey Pieper. I hope you guys are having a good night.
I put my Christmas decorations up.
Oh, you got those up already, huh?
Some.
Right.
So it's a productive day.
I definitely still am the I wait for Thanksgiving to be over. I'm a one holiday at a time guy. I don't know.
I'm still stuck in October.
You saw my tweet today. It was peppermint season is way better than pumpkin spice season. Pumpkin spice season can suck it. Sorry.
No, incorrect. But I'm gonna split the difference here and use my. It's the most wonderful time for a beer koozie. So,
all right.
Screw you, Thanksgiving. You get nothing. You turkey.
All right. We're going to jump into things here pretty quickly. Start with our rankings and get you guys ready for Week 10. Let's start off here with the running backs that I dislike a little bit more. Starting off here, Bijan Robinson, -3. Henderson, -3. Tyron Tracy, -2. Harvey, -2. Charbonnet, -2. Kamara, -2. Honestly, man, I could go a lot farther on Kamara. Zonovan Bam at night, -2. And then a bunch of -1s here quickly. Barkley, Janty, Warren, Dobbins, Kenneth Walker, and Chuba Hubbard.
AJ, you get to go first because you were not here last week. So,
yeah. Which one? I mean, let's go with Travion. I mean, he's a little farther down, but still an RB2. So got him -3 going up against Tampa in Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa's not great against the run. They haven't been all season, allowing the 11th most points to running backs. The problem here with Henderson is that he saw the Stevenson role last week, right? Which looks great if you're looking at just snap count. Like it was like 51 snaps to 16. I mean, that like the 16 is what Henderson was getting, right? The problem is that the carries were, I don't know, maybe 60-40, 65, 55-45% with what's his name? Terrell, right? Or is that his name? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. But it's so hard to trust any running back from the Patriots right now. I really just can't do it. They're just not getting enough work. The production hasn't been there. I really, really, really want to believe in Henderson. I gotta see it before I'm gonna like rank him like super high. This might still be too high, honestly.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't want to play him anywhere where you have him, even though you have him at RB22, which is like an RB2. It still sucks, and it sucks when you have to play him because you're like, oh, this could be absolutely nothing. How about Tyrone Tracy there, who came out and was out carried by Devin Singletary, and now did we all get duped thinking we had a not 1-to-1 replacement for Cam Scatterboo, but a 70% replacement for Cam Scatterboo, and this is actually going to end up being a annoying split? Or where are you at with Tyrone Tracy now?
hit around on the head, that man. I am pissed as a manager of Tyrone Tracy that I was stashing him on the IR in a bunch of leagues. Even when he came back and Scatterbo was a guy, I was just hanging on to him just in case. And the just in case happened, and then the just in case also didn't happen because they apparently want to use Devin Singletary. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Either way, man, Tracy hasn't been good, so it doesn't really matter. He had the one big run a couple of weeks ago when Scatterbo was healthy, still like that 30-yard run. Other than that, man, he's done absolutely nothing, just kind of plodding. Couple yards of carry here and there, nothing like Scatterbo was doing, and Singletary's not going to do that either. But if they're going to be, giving more of the work to Singletary, I don't want to start either one of these guys if I possibly can. This is going to be Jackson Dart and Jackson Dart and Jackson Dart. That's pretty much it. That's the only guy on the offense. Maybe Theo Johnson, and if you're struggling at a tight end, kind of utilize him a little bit, but I don't really want to start anybody. Like even Wandell, like that doesn't really do it now that Slayton's back. Honestly, Slayton is doing enough to, take away from a huge target share for Wandell that everybody I think thought was going to happen. So,
yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Moving on to guys I like a little more, shorter list here. Achane +2, Gibbs +1, Kyron Williams +1, Quinshon Judkins +3. I got Rashad White +8, Jordan Mason +4, Blake Corum +6, and Amari DeMarcado +6.
I'll stick right around that RB2 range with Rashad. I know they're coming off the bye, but you really trust him that much? I know, again, it's 19th, so relatively speaking, against New England's defense?
No, I don't really trust him, but if he's going to get all the work, Bucky did not practice again today. I'm sure we'll get into that in Corey's segment here soon, but if Bucky's not back, Rashad White's going to see a boatload of, work here. And I'm going to take, the volume at that part of the range there. There's a lot of iffy, you can just look at the screen here, right? Jordan Mason is below him. We don't really know if Aaron Jones is going to be around this week. And if he is, then Jordan Mason takes a hit there. Barely saw the field in the first half when Aaron Jones was active last week, which was shocking. Blake Corum doesn't get the massive touches, but has been getting enough to be, a desperation flex play. Amari DeMarcado getting, splitting touches with Bam Knight. But for Rashad White's getting that, that RB1 kind of workload for the Bucks, then you've got to put him in front of some of those guys.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Let's lump the two Rams guys together here. So Kyron, you have a 10, startable running back. You're only one up on him. But you have Blake Corum in the flex-worthy range down there. Cut back-to-back weeks, double-digit carries. They also won by, I think, a combined 50 points the last 2 weeks because they just blow teams out. This week against San Francisco, don't expect it to happen. But would you really be okay flexing Blake Corum this week?
No, I really wouldn't. But if you look at the full rankings and look at who I've got behind him, there's not a lot of guys that you really like behind him either, right? DeMarcado and Bam Knight, you could argue put them ahead of Blake Corum, but look, they're splitting work too. And you like the Rams offense a little bit better. Chuba Hubbard just got demoted and then demoted again. And it feels like demoted again. That was a complete shock that he got, 20% of the workload last week. I thought it would be more like 60-40, 65, 35 there at worst. That was weird. Like Isaiah Davis, who, we talked about in the waiver show that we, stash him just in case. Well, Breece Hall didn't get traded, so that's not going to happen. Algier, they need to get in the lead to use Algier. They're playing Indy, probably not going to happen. Gainwell took a huge step back in workload last week. So there's just a lot of guys just not getting work. And so they're going to utilize Blake Corum. I mean, there was a series, and I know, look, they had a huge lead, but early in the second half, when you still think, okay, we're going to go, they gave Blake Corum like an entire drive. I think it was like the very first drive. It wasn't until they got within like the 5-yard line and Blake Corum was like dying. Like he was like, hey, I need to sub out, like tap me out. And that's when they brought in Kyron Williams. So they're going to start using him in situations like that. Then I'm going to put him ahead of some of those other guys. All right.
Cool.
Jump over here to receivers that I dislike a little bit more. Jason, -2.
Wait.
What? Didn't you ask yours?
Let's slow the roll a little bit here.
Didn't you ask yours?
I did, but I'm jumping in again because I wasn't here last week, so I'm making up for it. So someone we don't see on this list here, but is right in between the top two you have of Achane and Gibbs, and that's number 4, and that's Mr. James Cook. Obviously, he is at where you're ranking him at 4. That's ECR's ranking him is the same spot. But I mean, do you really not think should be higher than Achane?
I mean, splitting hairs here. I also am not he's not fully healthy right now. In fact, I don't think he practiced today either. So there's actually a possibility he doesn't play. But I'll take the healthy guy. And look, I know Miami's probably going to get blown out. They still use Achane, even in blowouts. I mean, he's just utilized in the passing game a ton. I think he had 6 or 7 catches last week. Like that's going to carry a ton of value. So I'm fine with it.
Fair enough. To wide receivers.
All right. As I was saying, Jason -2, Egbuka -2. I've got Devo -7, Addison -3, Wandell -3, Keenan Allen -4, and then my grouping of -1s here: Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, and Juwan Jennings.
I don't know.
Is it your turn? It's Corey's turn.
Oh yeah, I guess technically it is that last one. So.
You went twice.
Let's see here. Let's do the very bottom person on that page. Let's talk Keenan Allen, who the offense is starting to funnel to 2. At one point it was, okay, well, there's 3 receivers and they're all sort of okay. And then we've kind of eliminated Quentin Johnston at times. And now Keenan Allen's starting to slip because the rise of Arondé Gadsden's in full effect here. Mm-hmm. Is it just I actually traded AJ earlier in the year for Keenan Allen. I lost Malik Neighbors, so he'll be in my lineup, but I don't love it right now. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the last 2 weeks, 5 targets each, caught 4 and then caught 2. 44 yards and 41 yards. That's not bad for the amount of receptions he was getting. But you don't like the workload right now. So, yeah, he's been taking a bit of a back seat. Quentin Johnston is now a bit more of a boom bust guy with Gadsden available. I think Ladd McConkey is easily the safest receiver on that team right now because they're just going to get him targets, and that's their guy. So, all of the receivers are pretty volatile right now for the Chargers, but they can all still be very, very good. But I think Keenan Allen has taken a bit of a backseat to the other 2.
Yeah, I feel that pain for you, Corey, and for pretty much every single one of my other teams because I was all in on Allen.
Who did you trade him?
I traded him, Keenan Allen, for Kenneth Walker, who was someone I almost brought up on your list, but he is. I
mean, that's not really working out either. So
no, it's really not. It's still an even trade.
Kind of, yeah.
Evenly bad. All right, well, I'll stick with one of the lower ones here, and I'll just go with Waddle. I mean, he's clearly the guy. I mean, you only have him one down, so it's not like it's terrible, but I don't know. Like, I guess he's not really close. You've got Ibuka 2 or 1 ahead of him, and he's 2 less than ECR. So what's kind of your reasoning between the two of them?
I think I just trust Ibuka to do a bit more. I trust Baker more, even though it is New England. Buffalo and Miami is, I mean, look, I want to say it's going to be a blowout, but like Buffalo's been kind of a weird team too at times where like it hasn't quite been the blowout you thought it was going to be. And then they turn around and like, you know, they beat the Chiefs and look amazing doing it. Like it wasn't a blowout, but like they had that game in control. So look, Waddle is seeing a lot of targets, but it's Tua, man. Like it's just not a lot of downfield shots, not a lot of scoring. You know, when you're talking about receivers, like, you know, in that range, you really want like high end production. Like Miami's probably going to have to pass a lot, so that's why he still stays up there. Like he probably will get close to double-digit targets, if not hit it for the first time this season. But with HA in there, you know, that takes away a lot of targets for him because they really do pass him the ball a lot. And I'm looking up how many he had last week. Achane had more targets than Waddle last week, 10.
Yeah.
Caught 6. I mean, that's just incredible. So that's why we like it. That's why we like Achane up there.
Yeah, I mean, both of them were neck and neck. Both caught 6 and 9 targets for Waddle, 10 for Achane, like you said. So
yep.
All right.
See some higher running receivers.
Next up, guys, I like higher. This is a much longer list. I kind of did it just because I wanted to get that last guy on there, but bunch of plus ones: Amon-Ra, Drake, Nico Collins, T-Mac. We got Quentin Johnston, Shakir, Troy Franklin, Christian Watson are my plus ones, and then kind of bigger guys here. Odunze plus 2. I got Garrett Wilson plus 15. He did practice today, so I just don't think it's ECR's caught up. I'm pumping Romeo Doubs up plus 5. Trey Tucker plus 3, even against tough Denver defense, but remember who they're missing. And then I got Torrey Horton plus 4.
I always find it funny how Joe decides to go longer on someone. It's a player that he likes. So last week,
I just think it's an interesting player. It's not so much that I like.
It's like, I got to get the guys in here that I like. Like
it's not so much that I like him. I mean, look, he's still ranked 40th, right? It's just that I do think it's interesting because I think people are ranking him a little bit lower because Shaheed shows up, and it's like Shaheed's been there 2 days. Like receivers, look, I wrote about it in the usage article. Receiver in-season trades very rarely work out for the receiver that showed up to the new team. There have been 3 that I count since 2018 that are worth a damn. AJ, do you know who they are? You name one?
3 traded receivers?
Yes.
In season.
Oh, I mean, you know one. I hated this guy forever.
Oh,
and then
stupid Amari Cooper.
Yes, to Dallas. That's one.
Yeah.
You're not going to get.
Why the Amari Cooper hate? Why did we hate Amari Cooper?
Because he was he was
don't open that
inconsistent.
can of worms with us.
He was just inconsistent. And then he got to Dallas and was like actually moderately, but no, was still very inconsistent with Dallas. Then went to Cleveland and was like super consistent. So I actually drafted him because he was like his value sunk, and that was the year he was like basically a really good receiver, like a back end receiver too, the whole year. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You're not going to guess one of them. I would be shocked if you guessed the second one that happened the very next year, but one happened last year.
I could tell you last year's. That'd be Devontae Adams, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other one you guys probably aren't going to guess is Emmanuel Sanders to the 49ers.
I don't even remember Emmanuel Sanders on the 49ers.
I
don't even
right?
remember him playing.
That's why I'll say. But those are the 3, man. Like everybody else that gets traded, like like Amari Cooper got traded last year to the Bills, and look how bad he did, right? Like it just doesn't work. It's so hard for them to get into the rhythm of the offense, have chemistry with the quarterback. I don't see Shaheed. Shaheed's going to be like a deep threat guy, and that's kind of it. I mean, that's what he is now, but at least he knows the playbook, and he's been practicing with the team since August, July. So I don't know. Like, I'm not buying into any of these guys that got traded, honestly.
I have a question on a player that you're higher than on there, other than Torrey Horton. It is Mr. Zero Skunkosaurus himself, Roma Dunze, 2 higher in the top 10, coming off of let's see here. Oh, I caught as many passes as him last gig against the Bengals. Now he takes on the Giants. He has been incredibly frustrating as well. Ever since their bye, he had the one good game against Baltimore. Otherwise, Washington 2 for 32, New Orleans 2 for 31. Then he had that 7 for 114 against Baltimore, but then 0. And yet we're still ranking him as a top 10 wide receiver. I don't get it.
Yeah, this might be the last chance for him, man. I'm not gonna lie. I still like the talent, and it's a great matchup against the Giants. I know last week was too.
So was the Bengals.
I know. I will say he is dealing with some injuries, so maybe I'll reevaluate this as the week goes on and push him down a little bit. But right now, I just love the matchup. And I mean, look, if Caleb's going to be able to sling the ball like he did last week and get it to DJ Moore and Loveland and those guys, then Adunze's going to get involved. He's just too good.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, I guess, but I'm just gonna go with the stab here because you already liked Dobbs enough. My guess is because you want to just do that to me on the show, also because our secondary is still a question mark. So I get that, but I'm gonna go with Horton here, and not necessarily because of his +4 in general, but more so because you picked him up last week and then left him on your bench when I kicked your ass.
Oh, I mean, you can thank Rico and Bowers for that. Didn't you have Rico? I mean, he had 70 points between two guys. I didn't stand a chance, but it's okay.
Congrats. I mean, the excuses never end, but I just thought it was hilarious because I saw you picked him up and I'm like, oh, come on, really? And then I saw him on your bench. I was like, serves you right.
I mean,
nobody
expected him to score 2 touchdowns, but okay.
Well,
I picked him up in the off chance that he was gonna. He was a stash play for me. I stashed him before the waiver run, which worked out perfectly because I knew he'd be hot. If it worked out, he'd be a hot commodity, and he absolutely would have been. And y'all probably would looking for him on the waiver wire, and I went, haha, suckers, I already got him.
Well, yeah, especially since I'm a cup owner and he was out. So
yeah. I mean, look, it actually is a pretty tough matchup. Arizona's defense has been pretty solid this year. So I don't love it. Shaheed does show up, and so that does diminish the excitement for Horton a little bit. I do think, maybe I don't like Shaheed, but I think Horton, gets a little bit taken away from him just because Shaheed shows up. So there's a little bit of that too. But, I think it's a little bit of people are overvaluing Shaheed showing up and not giving credit to Horton for, having a lot of chemistry with Darnold and in that offense. It showed, right? I mean, yeah, I know they just obliterated my Commanders, but like the chemistry there, it was obvious, and it's been kind of there all year. He just even in just the very limited amount of work he's been getting. So, ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right, quarterbacks that I like a little bit, or tight ends, sorry, that I like a little bit less. Aronde Gadsden, -1. Tyler Warren, -2. Kincaid, -1. Hunter Henry, -4. Schultz, -2. Zach Ertz, -6. Ingram, -1. TJ Hawkinson, -3.
Okay, how about Hunter Henry? Because by the -4 there, other people are ranking him as a starting caliber tight end in a 12-team league, and you are not. He's just very, what's a good word? Inconsistent, I guess. And lately it's been more down than good. So I get why you're a little lower on him, I guess.
He hasn't finished inside the top 12 since week 4. In fact, he only has finished inside the top 20 once since then, and that was week 8 against Cleveland. He caught one pass.
Wasn't that only one catch, too?
Just happened to go for a touchdown.
I remember that game.
So, Tampa's not great against the tight end. Okay, and they're going to be probably missing Butte, but I don't know, man. Like, Diggs, once he started coming along in this offense and Drake May really started getting this ball spread around to a whole bunch of people, Hunter Henry's just, hasn't seen that target share that we all kind of hoped he would.
What a quick discussion of the Patriots receivers. Diggs, I think could trust, right? We're good starting to Stephon Diggs. It's like a wide receiver 3. You trust anybody else?
Low end 2. High end 3.
Even if Butte is there, you trust Butte?
No. I mean,
we don't trust Bob Douglas. We don't trust Hunter Henry. It's just that Drake May looks awesome. He looks incredible. Like, I think he might win an MVP award, but it is the Packers thing where it is just everybody gets involved, and it is very tough to trust any of them.
It's the Oprah Winfrey of quarterbacks. You get a ball. You get a ball. Yeah, it is frustrating. And look, I have Diggs. I traded for him in the 6-pack league? Yeah. And it was after he had those 2 amazing games, and then it kind of went back to, whatever. And dude, there's games where through 3 quarters, he's got 2 targets. And I'm like, what is happening? And then he'll finish with 6. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. But it's crazy that they just Diggs is clearly their best receiver, and for just some reason, they just don't care. They're just going to give it to everybody to spread the ball around. It's working. They're winning games, so they're not going to change, right? There's no reason to. Maybe without Butte, Diggs gets a little more involved. Kyle Williams will probably move into his role. Bob Douglas will stay in his role. He's not going to slide over. I think I trust Bob Douglas to be better for fantasy. But Kyle Williams will get that snap share. Just not sure he's ready to make a impact on the field. So, AJ, anybody? Muted?
You are muted, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, I would say Tyler Warren. I mean, you got him as tight end 6. He's down only 2 against Atlanta. I mean, do you think AJ Terrell is going to be covering Tyler Warren?
No. The last couple of weeks, Tyler Warren has taken a little bit of a step back. Tight end 14, tight end 29. Hasn't scored. Maybe he's due, but Atlanta's defense is really good against tight ends. So, I've just got a couple of guys ranked ahead of him who I just, would trust a little bit more this week. You could argue Kittle below Warren just because Kittle stays in the block a lot, and maybe they do it again against the Rams. But it kind of seems like on-off weeks for Kittle. So, maybe this is the on week for Kittle. I don't know.
Yeah,
Kittle is super frustrating. I remember trading him in Dynasty a couple of years ago when I was completely rebuilding, and then he had that massive year last year, and I'm going oh no. And the guy who I traded him to won the league, partially because of that. And he drafted Jayden Daniels in the rookie draft, and we saw what Jayden Daniels did, so that helped. But I'm looking at it going oh, what did I do? And now he's kind of back to what he was doing before. He gets hurt, and then he comes on the field, and it's 1 week I'm blocking for 50 plays, and next week I'm running 50 routes. It's crazy. So You could flip flop those two. So, but he'd still be a -1.
Yeah.
I still like him. Like I'm still starting him. He's too involved. He's too good. So, all right, guys, I like more. Sam Laporta +3, Dallas Goedert +1, Theo Johnson +1, Javon Johnson +3, Mason Taylor, Luke Musgrave, and David Njoku all +4.
It's actually surprising to see some of those guys that you have outside the starting range. It just tells you like the depth that the tight end position has. Like Mason Taylor being +4 and not even as a starting top 12 tight end, as good as he's played on a team that.
Look at the matchup, though.
Is Cleveland good?
The Browns, that's gonna be rough, man. I think the and look, the Browns aren't like top notch against tight ends, but I just don't see Justin Fields like having much of a chance to do really anything against the Browns front, and so it's gonna be an ugly game for the Jets offense, I think.
Sure could be. I've seen a lot of ugly games from the Jets offense, so I'm not going to say that.
And then they pulled it out of their ass against Cleveland at the very end. I have no idea how that happened. But anyway.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
I'll go. I mean, again, you have him pretty far out of tight end 1. But he's coming in, obviously, for the injured Tucker Kraft, and that's Mr. Luke Musgrave. You have him at +4, so obviously you like him better than everybody else. Is that a thing of ECR still not catching up, or do you just think he's better than what they think?
I mean, obviously, I think he's better than what they think. I don't know, man. Like, if I have to start him, like, people still have Ingram and Hawkinson and Schultz in front of him. And I'm like, no, like, you know what? We've seen those guys. They're not getting it done. Like maybe they finish, a half a point higher than Musgrave, but I'm going to take that chance that Musgrave, starts, gets at least 75% of the workload that Kraft was getting. Like we all know Musgrave is not going to be Tucker Kraft. He's not the violent runner with the ball. We talked about this on the waiver show, Corey. He's not the same player. And like we've seen it before from him. Like he just sort of is ho-hum, right? But he's usable. Philly's defense against the tight ends is very good. So it is a tough matchup. If it wasn't against Philly, you probably would see him up there near Javon Johnson. I would think if it was a better matchup. But with it being against Philly, I'm not really feeling it. Especially since Philly just was like, hey, reinforcements, come on in for defense. Like we're just gonna reload midseason. Like, what the hell was that? Why does everybody trade to the Eagles? Stop it.
Jair Alexander's already got a knee injury. 17 consecutive years of me having a knee injury. So
I mean, that trade was like the Commanders trading for idiot Lattimore last year, and it was like, oh, he got hurt. Go figure.
He's hurt again.
No kidding. All right, off the quarterbacks. Not a whole lot really here. Hurts, Dart, Mayfield, Jones, Fields, Rodgers, Penix, Tua, Lawrence, all -1s, couple -2s mixed in. Anything interesting, even just with like the rankings at all?
How about Baker down 2 because he's been fairly consistent and that's fallen off a little bit recently here, coming off a bye week, but New England's a tough defense, so you dropped them a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, look, even the couple of weeks before the bye, QB 20, QB 26 was not good. That was Detroit and New Orleans, who are not New England's defense. So I do worry here. Still not going to have Mike Evans. Sounds like he's not going to have Godwin or Bucky Irving back still. So you're looking at just Emeka Ibuka and friends. And the friends are not as good as the rest of those guys. Look, they're complementary pieces. Like they're good when they're used as like receiver 3 and 4s and 5s. And, but when they are asked to create, be like the playmaker, it's obviously affecting Baker Mayfield's performance. I still want to think that Baker Mayfield is going to like work his magic. Like he's done a lot this year, but I do worry just a little bit more than I normally would.
Yeah, Baker's a tough one for me because I mean he has been consistent this year up until the last couple of weeks, but it's not necessarily consistently great. Aside from the Seattle game where he blew up for 379 yards, I mean everything else is under 300 yards. I mean he's got a few rushes in there that help a little bit, but he's got a tough stretch coming up here.
Yeah. I mean, look, even though he was like, I think overall at one point in the year, he was like QB4 total on the year or QB5.
Yeah.
But look, weekly finishes 12, 15, 8, 10, 6, 11. Awesome. Like QB1, hands down, you're not really worried about it. But like, I think people were looking at like some of these like miraculous comebacks and it was like fun to watch and all this stuff. And Puka was a great story. Baker's been awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I think people are overblowing it a little bit. And New England, as we've stated, and is not an easy matchup. You can get them against the pass way more than you can against the run, but it's still not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So
he goes to Buffalo, then the Rams, both away, then home against Arizona. I mean, that's a tough stretch.
Gets New Orleans again, he struggled against. Then Atlanta, who's tough. Carolina would be fine. He gets a really good playoff 16-17 week, Carolina and Miami. But getting there is going to be. Carolina
gives up the 10th fewest points currently against quarterbacks. They've been better than advertised, but it's still Carolina, so I'm not concerned with it.
That's true. You got anything, AJ, or moving on?
You can move it on. I think we.
All right, a couple of guys that I like more: Herbert +1, Bo Nix +1, Caleb Williams +1, Jared Goff +2, Mariota +1, Jakobi Brissett +1.
I mean, I'll start this one, I guess, with Jared Goff. I mean, +2 at Washington. Is this because Lattimore's gone? Is that why you're trusting Goff now?
Yes, that's the only reason why. No, dude, the Commanders are awful at this point. I mean, like injuries have decimated this team. The defense is a complete shell of itself. It wasn't a strong, point for the team anyway, but it was supposed to be way better than it is. Injuries, there's no pressure on the quarterback anymore. Secondary is banged up. It's just bad, man. And I mean, look, Sam Darnold had like the best first half of football in like the history of the NFL against us. I know Sam Darnold is Corey Pieper's, favorite player now, but it's that was a little much.
No, what was a little much was Corey getting the tramp stamp tattoo of Darnold.
That's right. Just a slight too much, little bit exaggerated, but it's there forever.
All right.
Love never dies.
Right.
Anything else?
I have a trivia question for you guys based off of this. Which quarterback do you think leads the league in rushing yards?
In rushing?
Yeah, it was kind of a giveaway because it had to be on this page. But
I didn't know that you. But I had, I thought about it for a second. I was like, yeah, Herbert, yeah. Like every broadcast, they talk about it.
305 rushing yards right now. Second, Justin Fields, the one that'll pass him if he keeps it up in no time. Jackson Dart, the way that he runs the ball, but Justin Herbert actually leads the league in rushing yards for quarterback, partially because of the injuries and stuff. But it's interesting because he's also top. I want to say he's like fourth in pass attempts. He's third in pass attempts. Here's a good one. Who leads the league in pass attempts? We didn't talk about him today.
Pass attempts.
He's played one less game than most of these guys too. That's how much they throw the ball. He's also quite old.
Rodgers?
Not him. The other one.
Oh.
Flacco.
Joe Flacco, 333 pass attempts.
That makes sense.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And he hasn't even
Always.
played every game,
That's what I
right?
said. He's
Been
only
it's been
played
always
8
Cincy.
games.
That's fantastic. I love that.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for the rankings aspect of the show. Hope you got some start sit questions answered there. Jumping over to the news and injury impact, Corey, this is your segment, so we will fire away at you. First up, Kyler Murray. As you know, we talked about in the rankings, Jakobi Brissett is starting, so Kyler Murray is out and out for a while. Placed on IR, foot injury, 4 to 8 weeks. I joked in our Discord. It was kind of like when this came out, it was like, oh, yeah, doctor, let's just say he's hurt because we don't really want to play him anymore. Brissett looks way better. But I don't know, man. Like, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, Brissett looks way better. We said it last week when we were talking, I think, just in your ranking section about Kyler. So now him officially going on injured reserve means a month. I don't expect that we'll see Kyler Murray take maybe late in the year, but otherwise I wouldn't expect that Kyler Murray takes a snap with the Cardinals the rest of the year. And in the offseason, I think he'll get traded. Like, I think Kyler Murray probably ends up a Pittsburgh Steeler if I had to put some money on it right now, or he's going to play next year, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's actually slight arrow up it's definitely an arrow up for Marvin Harrison Jr. with Jakobi Brissett there. Me and Joe were texting about that today. It's way better for Marvin Harrison Jr. the way Jakobi Brissett's been throwing the ball.
It's better for McBride too. He's getting more touchdowns.
It's at least that's true. It's because the offense moves better, but like it's at least as good for Trey McBride, and we're supposed to get a running back soon back in Trey Benson. This offense could be pretty fun. So I picked up Jakobi Brissett in the Superflex League where I lost Kyler Murray and Bryce Young sucks and Cam Ward can't do anything. So I'm trying to make the playoffs. So I picked up Jakobi Brissett and I'll be playing him over those guys right now.
I played him in Scott Fish last week and that worked out nicely.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, I picked him up because Fields was on bye, and so all I had was Stafford as quarterback. And you don't have to super flex a quarterback, but I was like, a bunch of bye, and I have a bunch of players injured. And I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna pick him up and see what happens. 35 points later, thank you.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, next up, AJ.
Are you muted? Are
Did
you
AJ
there?
freeze?
I think he's gone.
I think AJ
screenshot
froze.
that.
Oh no!
Screenshot that.
Oh no! It's not really that great. He's just kind of sitting
he's
there.
just kind of staring at the screen.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. All right, well, I'll move on. CJ Stroud concussion already ruled out for Sunday, so we get a Davis Mills game. That's not going to be good.
I don't know.
Any hope?
I don't know if it's really I'm not playing Davis Mills, but I don't know if it's really a massive downgrade for any of the receivers. I'm still playing Nico Collins wherever I got him. And then the other guys, I don't know if I really want to play any of them. If I had to pick one, I guess it would probably be Higgins over Hutchinson. But Davis Mills has done this long enough that I think he can at least get the ball to Nico Collins. I think Nico had 11 targets last week against a much tougher Denver defense. Jacksonville's okay, but he's good enough that you're still going to play him, and that's probably the only one you really want to play. So we'll see.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, no, you like the fact that he was just throwing the ball to his main guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. I talked about this too. It's like, oh, these backups come in and they're just like, you know what? You're good. I'm just going to throw you the ball.
The old guys get it, man. They understand the
figure it out.
They get it, dude.
Oh man. Like, let's stop playing games and just throw the ball to your best players. Jeez. Why is it so hard? All right. Oh, I'm shedding a tear. Jayden Daniels. This was gruesome. I'm convinced the Commanders are cursed with quarterbacks. Like, if you think back at their history of quarterbacks and the injuries, man, like Joe Theismann, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you get RG3. Then you get Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Now this. All really bad injuries, man. Like, just ugh.
So did they build the field like on an Indian tribal ground or something? Like, what's the curse coming from?
Man. It's been rough, dude.
It is rough.
Understand
it was one of the most sickening injuries I've ever seen. Like, you can see the pictures. I would not watch it again if I can help it. I've not tried to just Googling to find a tweet to put in the slideshow. I saw pictures of it. I'm like, oh man, I did not need to see that again.
I don't know what's worse. Obviously, the Theismann one is gross because the bone was literally sticking out. But Alex Smith was really, really bad too. I don't know if you remember that one. That one was gross looking.
I just remember that you can see pictures of his leg, even after when he came back and played, and it was 16 surgeries he had to have or something. It was wild how much rehab he had to do. But I don't remember the actual injury for him, which thank God. I'm not good with injuries. Shout out to no one tweet at me or anything when there's a big injury because gross. I'm not good at that stuff. So Jayden Daniels, for fantasy wise, we just want him to be healthy by next year at this point. If you have him in a redraft league, go ahead and drop him. He's not going to play. And does anything change? So Mariota's another competent veteran quarterback. It's not going to sink the ship for the Commanders. It might already be sunk by their defense, but he'll still be able to get the ball to Debo. I think you're still going to play him in most cases. And if we ever get McLaurin back, he'll be fine. The other receivers, I don't really want to play any of them. If I had to pick, McCaffrey also got hurt. He's having out for the season, right? Is it out for the season? Like a collarbone or something? So
yeah, you know what? I don't remember.
It's I want to say it's to his shoulder.
He's on the IR. I know that. Okay. Collarbone. Yeah, I don't know. That's he's expected to miss the remainder of the season.
Yeah. So maybe a little better for Chris Moore, but I mean, again, I don't want to play it. Hey, look who's back.
He didn't see anything last week, so there's that. So yeah, man, I think actually, one of the things that this affects the most, which is a little bit under the radar, is Zach Ertz. Mm-hmm. In the games where Mariota played, and Zach Ertz, tight end 22, 26, 83, 23, and 22, not good. The games where Daniels is there, tight end 9, tight end 2, tight end 6, tight end 11. He's just a totally different. I mean, last week he wasn't good either. Sorry, last week the 22 was with Daniels. My bad. But outside of that, man, it's been pretty bad with Mariota there.
You would expect. I would have guessed the other way, that Marcus Mariota would be looking to Zach Ertz, but interesting.
Daniels likes him, and we saw that last year. It looks for him in the end zone too. Big red zone target for him. So, it's for whatever reason that they have a great chemistry, and so without him, I don't love Ertz as a must roster player anymore. Yeah. I really don't.
Yeah, I think he's definitely fallen off, which is a shame because I had high hopes for him again this year too. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that hinged a lot on Daniel's health, but which is just complete bummer. Even as an Eagles fan, he's electric. He's fun to watch, but it's better for the Eagles, I guess. But
you don't have to worry about us anymore, man. You don't have to worry about us anymore.
I wasn't worried at the beginning of the season.
I mean, we were still on our heels for the first 5-6 weeks of the season. Then it just we have completely fallen apart. We were, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
anyway,
wake up anytime soon.
Moving on, AJ. Moving on. Now Corey can cry. That was you, AJ.
I know. I was letting the build-up happen.
Oh, okay.
So, thanks. Packers tight end Tucker Kraft suffered a torn ACL last week versus the Panthers in the crushing loss to them. And now they get to go up against the Eagles this week with no Tucker and no Kraft. So are we all in on Musgrave here? We already just talked about him a little bit, but
I mean, I think Joe kind of nailed it on the head there where I'm fine adding Musgrave in some areas. I had Tucker Kraft in multiple teams. And I'm fine adding Musgrave. If it's Colston Loveland's there, I might prefer him slightly, but it's pretty close. And then, but I don't expect Tucker Kraft was leading going into this week. So since Bach Bowers had the huge week this past week at 43 and Tucker Kraft only got 4 before he got injured. So we got passed up. But before that, he was going into this week. He was the top tight end per week in fantasy scoring by quite a bit because he was just so consistently getting you 6 catches, 60 yards, and a lot of times a touchdown. I don't expect that from Luke Musgrave, but 4 to 5 catches, 40-ish yards. Maybe he gets you a touchdown every other week. I think that's doable. So he's in that 8 to 12, 15-ish range, which a lot depends on matchup, kind of like, Harold Fannin we've talked about and Jawan Johnson we've talked about. That's where he's going to fall into. Where can you use him? Sure. And if you send me your fantasy roster and Luke Musgrave's in it, I'm not going to laugh at you and point and say, "Oh man, why do you have Luke Musgrave in there?" But I'm also not. He's not Oronde Gadsden where you pick this guy up off the waiver wire and it's just plug and play every week. I think that's kind of where we're at with Luke Musgrave. And losing Tucker Kraft sucks. It's awful for a Packers fan and for fantasy.
Yep, absolutely. All right, jumping in here to the first of the trades. Jakobi Meyers to the Jaguars. Impact on Vegas, and what do you expect from Meyers in Jacksonville?
I think he'll be good. I don't know about right away because when we were talking pre-show, when you were talking about Shaheed and Torrey Horton, just transferring over to a new team isn't always a seamless transition, but there's certainly an opportunity in Jacksonville with the injury. We talked about this on the waiver show too. The injuries to Travis Hunter. He's not on here because it's been nearly a week since he went on the IR, but he is on the injured reserve. And I honestly am not entirely sure we'll see him play the rest of the season. It sounds like they're going to baby him to the very nth degree there. So I don't expect to see a lot of Travis Hunter. Brian Thomas, I don't have him on here because I knew we were going to talk about Jakobi Meyers. He's also dealing with an injury today. He did not practice with his ankle. And so I don't know if he's going to play this week. They said it's a low grade high ankle sprain, which still sounds awful. So I'm not entirely expecting Brian Thomas to play, which did leave just Parker Washington. So I think even though it just happened yesterday, Jakobi Meyers is going to get on the field right away. I would probably prefer Parker Washington to Jakobi Meyers, but if you wanted to play him as a wide receiver, flex play wide receiver right away, I think that's doable. I wouldn't fault you for it. I'm doing it in this spot actually. So
one thing I heard today, though, Meyers usually plays a lot in the slot, but the Jags are apparently using him or planning or saying they're going to use him. Who knows actually? Right? We'll see game time, but talking about using him a lot more on the outside and keeping Parker Washington in that slot role. So that'll be interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen Meyers play an outside role for a long time. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. So next trade, AJ.
All right, next one up here. We've got the Saints trading off Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks. We kind of touched on this a little bit in and out of the show, but what's the overall impact of this?
I think Shaheed has been underappreciated for how good he's been in New Orleans this season for fantasy. He was very boringly reliable. Listen to this stat line: 5 catches, 68 yards, 9 catches, 75 yards, 4 for 40, 4 for 28, 4 for 114, and touchdown, 4 for 40, 4 for 42, 4 for 52, 6 for 33. It's not terrible. It's not great, but on a team that's as terrible as New Orleans, that is not that bad. It's not Chris Olave. So this is probably, I guess, slight up for Chris Olave in New Orleans since there's one less target. And now literally him and Juwan Johnson should get all of the targets thrown to him. There's no reason to not throw him a ton of balls. Joe's guy, Devon Bailey. Yep, I forgot. Joe loves Devon Bailey. And other than him, though, in Seattle, I saw something. I saw Joe was down on Jackson Smith-Njigba. It won't affect Jackson Smith-Njigba at all. He's amazing. No. He's fantastic. He's locked in wide receiver 1 every week. Torrey Horton, it probably affects a little bit, but not a lot. I don't want to play Rashid Shaheed or Torrey Horton if you can help it. But again, if you told me you had to play him, okay. Sam Darnold looks amazing right now. They're throwing the ball up. They are shredding teams, ripping teams apart. So if you have to play one of these guys, it's possible that they're going to pick up 50, 60 yards and a touchdown for you.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I can see it.
All right, Aaron Jones, talked about him a little bit earlier too in the rankings with Jordan Mason dealing with an AC joint sprain. They're saying he might be able to play this week. I don't know. You think they, maybe reduce his workload, or is it his full go? I mean, like I said last week, man, early in the game, that whole first half, man, I think he played like 75% of the snaps in the first half. It was nuts, man. Like Jordan Mason did not see the field.
Their offense runs, and I was a Jordan Mason guy. I will admit that. And he was okay, but their offense looks a lot better when Aaron Jones is out there because he picks up big. Jordan Mason's kind of a big, like, plotter, not plotter. He's not a full plotter, but like he's not picking up big chunks of yardage. And Aaron Jones for the year, I want to say, is averaging over 5 yards a carry still, 5.1 yards per carry. It's good. Now, there's not been enough times where we've seen him. And last week, he was ripping off big chunks. And that gave him 9 carries for 78 yards already when he went out against a tough Detroit defense. And their offense looks really good with him out there. He didn't practice at all today. He's also dealing with something to his toe. I guess that's still maybe just management. I'd be surprised if he played, but I was surprised that he played 2 weeks ago and he came out and played. It's probably good for Jordan Mason if you're going to play him. He's probably an RB2. If Aaron Jones plays, they look. It doesn't look like they're going to baby him at all if he's out there. If he's healthy, he's going to get the ball. And so if he's in on Sunday and you see that Aaron Jones is playing, I guess fire him up and downgrade Jordan Mason. But right now, I don't think he'll play. But I was wrong on him before, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely something to monitor this week. Another injury, AJ.
All right. Puka Nacua has suffered a rib cartilage injury.
This one's good. Like, there's not a lot to say here. Sean McVay came out a few hours ago and said that barring some unforeseen setback, Puka Nacua is going to play this Sunday, and he is also a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, I have to believe that if they weren't just demolishing in their game last week, then I think we see him come back in. It looked like it hurt for sure, but it looks like one of those, like, just probably could have played through it. But we should see him back this week, and we know how good Puka Nacua can be. Over here, back to the Packers. Matthew Golden, day-to-day with a shoulder injury. Isn't considered long-term, but look, Golden's kind of been going in the wrong direction here, man, for the last few weeks. So I don't even know if really anybody cares for fantasy anymore. At least
I think you can drop him. I think you can drop him, actually. I think I'm not like concerned in dynasty leagues or any of that stuff yet, but I think in redraft, right now you can drop him if you need the spot for someone because he's not doing enough to justify holding him if you need the roster spot. That's probably, you had Romeo Dubs, I don't remember, 4 or 5 higher when we were talking about your rankings. So you take Tucker Kraft away, you take Matthew Golden away. That's 2. We still don't have Jayden Reed back. That should be the end of this month, I think.
I don't think Xavier Wicks is back either.
Wicks is not right. He missed last week. I haven't seen anything on him this week either. So suddenly all those receivers gone. It's Musgrave, it's Dubs, it's Savion Williams, it's Christian Watson. So and it's a lot of running the ball, Josh Jacobs, and it's a tough matchup against the Eagles defense. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to play Dubs. I would absolutely play Romeo Dubs just because he's going to get the ball. But other than that, again, they're all kind of hit or miss.
Yeah. So, all right, last one up. Back to the Buccaneers.
Yes.
I feel like they just be
a weekly
like
segment.
A permanent segment. Yes, exactly. We should have like a Buccaneers time.
Passing the buck, we'll call it. I'm an idea guy. What can I say? All right.
Pirate themed.
So a few updates from Todd Bowles. He's saying that Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving are both progressed enough to be running now. Have both progress. This is terrible. they're
are
running.
both progressed enough to be running now. Still bad, but better than how you said it.
That's what I'm saying. That's totally off. For those of you listening and not watching, just skip for the next 5 seconds. But he said Irving hasn't taken contact on his injured shoulder, but both are slowly improving. I mean, both what? Both his shoulders or both players? Like, God damn it, this is
Both players. But yes,
I know
not
what
good.
it is, but
it's not good.
I
Get it together.
I have almost no confidence that Chris Godwin's going to play this week. I would put that extremely unlikely that Chris Godwin's going to play, which like Joe said earlier, and friends, it's Emeka, Puka, and friends around there. Slightly more optimistic on Bucky Irving playing, but we got to see him practice. We have to see him practice at some point. If it's Thursday and Friday, tomorrow, if it's light or limited, and then Friday he does some, I'll still say he's playing. But if he comes out tomorrow, doesn't do anything, and doesn't do anything on Friday, he ain't going to play either. And then you fire back up Rashid White in a difficult matchup against New England. And then the last game, remember, we saw before their bye, it was much more of a split between Rashid White and Sean Tucker.
Well, White was like bad, and so they were like, you know what, we're going to try Sean Tucker, and then Sean Tucker looked decent.
I would still prefer Rashid White,
of
over
course,
Sean Tucker,
yes.
but it's not it's in like the 18 to 24-ish range where you're probably going to start him, but he's not a running back one or anything like that. He's not going to take. I'm not expecting Kyle Monangai 175 yards filling in, and I'll say that from Rashid.
No,
White.
not against the New England defense. No. I do have White 19, expecting Bucky Irving to miss. That will obviously change if he plays, but. All right, that is it for the news and injury impact. Thanks, Corey, for running through all of that with us. Let's jump over here to AJ's segment, top streamers. And by the way, we like to. I thought of a reference. Corey, speaking of streamers, do you know where this is from?
What? Don't cross the stream.
Does this have something to do with silly string again?
No, shut up, AJ.
What? Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Come on.
I have no. What is that? I have no idea what that is. What is that even? Don't cross the streams.
AJ, you got to know.
Do you even know what it means? First of all,
don't cross the streams.
Well, so
like
yeah, so there's
it's
a
like
joke.
Crossing something.
Well,
it's crossing something, all right.
Well, yes, but this.
What do you think the stream is?
That isn't referring to that, AJ. That's from a movie.
I know. Yeah, I know that.
Okay, AJ, what's the movie reference?
Oh,
come on. I'll play it again.
What? Don't cross the streams.
Oh, is that the one? That's the old movie. In the 80s.
Old. It actually is old, from the 80s. You are correct.
Hold on. I can get this. They just remade it a couple years. Ghostbusters.
I was gonna say, think Halloween. There we go. Ghostbusters. All right,
yeah.
You got one.
I just freaking watched it too 3 times.
I had to think about that.
Oh my gosh. But AJ is
but the other a lot grosser.
That
is that the one where they Is that the one where they fight like the picture, or is that the one where they fight the big marshmallow goo?
I think that's the marshmallow one.
Okay.
Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man or whatever.
Stay Puff Marshmallow.
Puffed.
Yeah. Is it puffed or
P-U-F-T?
Well, whatever. Anyway. All right.
I'm telling you.
We will skip AJ's disgusting joke about that. If you're listening and you know what it means, you know what it means. I'll tell you off air, Corey.
I don't want to know.
We're inappropriate, but
I don't want to know.
We'll wait. Nah, it's cool. I'm just gonna tell you anyway. All right. We got streamers. AJ, give us your quarterback.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, now that we are finally on the segment, yes, we have streamers. We're going with JJ McCarthy this week. Had a pretty decent, first week back. And, he's sitting at, pulled him back out here. He's sitting at 49% rostership. Only 143 passing yards. He had the 2 touchdowns, also had an interception, but he also went 9 for 12 and a touchdown running. So are we going to expect the next Jackson Dart out of JJ? Nah, TBD. But
No, he'll die if he runs like Jackson Dart.
well,
He does not have
probably.
the same build.
Yeah. But I mean, this is now the 2 games that he's played a full game in have been really good. And shockingly enough, he went 143, 2-1 in both of them. So that's, if there's anything to gauge consistency on, that would be it. So
I was going to talk about, we talked about JJ McCarthy, was it last week, Joe, or on the Wednesday night when you weren't here? And I said he'd been good in one game and bad in one game. And Joe pointed out, nah, the first time it was really the one quarter. Last week, it really was only the first quarter. The first game, it was the last quarter. Last week, he looked awesome in the first quarter. And then
kind of good in the fourth quarter again. That's when he ran in the touchdown.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was
it was a little bit more
like,
consistent. It wasn't like, oh God, what are we watching?
Yeah, that's true. He's just that's a good word for him. Inconsistent.
Yes.
Yeah. But the matchups that he's had so far, Chicago, game 1 gave up the 6th most fantasy points to the position. Last week against Detroit, 10th most. This week against Baltimore, 9th most.
Baltimore's been much better the last couple of weeks, so careful with that one.
Their defense has been better in general, yes, but they're still giving up over 260 yards, I believe. Oh yeah, 285 against the Bears 2 weeks ago, and 261 last week in Miami. Granted, they won both games, so something's working. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's Lamar being back last week was really part of that. But I like JJ this week. There's injuries, there's bye weeks still, so yeah, why not?
Yep. No, I feel you on that one. That's a good streamer pick. There's not a lot of good streamer quarterbacks this week, but AJ is definitely one of them. Your running back here.
I mean, hell, I'm tempted to say Alvin Kamara is a streamer at this point, but he's still 95%.
I don't even think I want to play him. I really don't.
I'm up and down about it.
Drop him.
I want to wait one game without Shaheed to see if something changes, but if not, like I'm out. I'm totally out. This is his last chance. I can't do it with him anymore.
Yeah, so this week, as you can see on the board or as you will listen, Bhayshul Tuten, VT Pride, is going up against Houston. ECR's got him at running back 37. We're projecting him at 5 points for F6P, only 32% rostered. Opponent's points against is just under 18. So he's got fairly decent matchup, and Houston will be without CJ Stroud this week. So with that being said, and Davis Mills being on the field, I don't necessarily think that offense is going to be doing too well. So Tuten should have plenty of opportunity. He went up against Houston earlier this season and did okay, 16-21, but got the touchdown. So that's pretty much what saved his day there. I'm banking on him getting in the end zone again this week, but looking at the list of potential running backs to even go after, it was horrific.
Oh yeah, I mean it's basically the Arizona guys and him, and it's not great.
Yeah, it's like Tajay Spears, 40%. Oh wait, he's on the bye. Joe Mixon, who the hell knows where he even is in the worit's
against Indy. They're not going to be in the lead, so he doesn't get work this week. Guarantee it. So it's not good. It's not good out there. This is a rough streaming week. I have noticed. So I'll have fun writing the article on USA Today tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it after kind of doing my pre-research for this show.
I bet.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Usually it's kind of easy after doing the show on Wednesdays, and now
you hear that, AJ? You're basically doing all of Joe's work for him, is what he just said.
I mean, considering
else
I
is
have
new?
to do the research.
When have
for
I
him,
not?
Considering we have to do the research for him, because sometimes it's like, oh, AJ hasn't done them yet. Let me do it anyway, just in case he's not prepared. Yeah. Who's doing whose work? All right.
I'm just throwing you off. See if you're on what I'm already going to pick and just haven't written it down yet.
Okay.
That's how I work.
All right.
Anyway. All right.
Receivers.
Up next, receivers. I'm going with Troy Franklin tomorrow night versus Vegas. ECR's got him at 33. We're projecting 8.9 points, 49% rostership. But the kicker here is the opponent's points against is 31.5-ish. Franklin has been pretty solid. Last week against Houston had a down week, but the 2 weeks before that against much lesser competition had good weeks. At least targets, touchdowns, 3 touchdowns between those 2 weeks. Looking back in week 2 when he was against another weak team in Indy at the time, at least, had 89 yards on 8 receptions and a touchdown. Vegas is giving up the 4th most points to receivers right now. So, yeah, I think this could be a good game for him. I think I actually had Trey Tucker down as well, kind of like ping-ponging the two of them against each other with Jakobi Meyers' departure and with Surtain being out. So
yeah,
Tucker could see a bit of an uptick. He's only at 40% rostership. But the other guy I really like here, and one of the guys I picked up last week while you were diddling around with your Horton bench, and I picked up Alec Pierce, put him in my lineup, and yeah, he blew up on your ass. So I'm putting him in again.
man. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm here to work.
She came with ammo this week. God. That's okay. AJ beats me like once every 5 years. It's cool. I'll let him have this one.
No, I have a pretty good record against you in the regular season.
Oh,
playoffs, not so
regular
much.
season. Okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter because I'm going on recency bias and I just kicked your ass. So Alec Pierce again.
Do you raise drop yourself when you lose to me? Because that'd be cool.
What's that? What?
You recency bias? You like raise drop yourself?
Loser says what?
To me?
Loser says what?
Yeah, okay. God, you are 12.
Go ahead, play it.
Oh yes, there we go.
I'm a child.
Oh, I love these sound clips. I'm so glad we pulled these.
So yeah, Pierce going up against Atlanta. They're 26th against. So yeah, it's a tougher matchup, but yeah, why not?
All right. I've already moved on. Tight end.
All right, tight end. I am going with Colston Loveland here against the Giants because it's the Giants. So, you know,
we say like Berman. Try to say it like Berman.
The what?
Try to say it like Berman.
I don't know how Berman says
the
it.
G-Man, whatever he says.
Well, I was going to say the G-Man, but I feel like that's overplayed.
I mean,
anyway.
Cooler than you. Sorry.
So, yes, Colston Loveland against the worst. What?
Corey just loves it back and forth.
Sometimes you guys say stuff and I'm just like, I have no idea even what to say. Like, I don't even know how to respond to some of this. Like,
Corey just sits back and like just watches the show like anybody else does at this point. He's like, this is fun.
I'm just hanging out. Every so often I throw
my Pringles, get some popcorn flowing.
I was gonna say, just sit back here. The meme.
Yep. All right. Loveland is sitting at ECR tight end 10. Our projection for him is 7.3. His rostership's 43. Opponent points against is just over 10. So shockingly, the Giants are fairly good against the tight end. They give up the 12th fewest points to the position, but he blew up last week, obviously, against the worst possible team against the position, going 6 for 118 and 2 touchdowns. So it's finally getting involved, it seems like, after not really doing anything all season. So I'm looking for the wave to keep going, and we'll see what happens. But I like Loveland this week.
Yeah, I think we mentioned him on the waiver show. The one thing is just like when Komet is actually in the game or, active and healthy, he's splitting too many snaps with him right now. Komet left the game last week, so Loveland saw most of the second half snaps and blew up and was awesome. So hopefully the Bears see that and want to start passing him the ball more and getting him on the field more over Komet.
Yeah.
As we know, teams don't always do what we think they should do and what we like in fantasy. Patriots. So we'll see. But I like Loveland. I like his talent. I like what he has done when he's gotten opportunities. So hopefully they do it.
Yeah.
So, and over to AJ's favorite.
Oh, yes. The defense.
The big D.
Oh, yes. Gotta love that D. Jacksonville Jaguars at Houston. Again, Davis Mills is under center, going against the D. So I think it's going to be a lot of sack action. Thanks to I can't even do it anymore.
Just made up
hold
one
his
word.
own laughter.
Saction.
You can't laugh at your own joke.
Saction.
Why not? All right, ECR.
Poor
We've got
delivery,
him
AJ.
at defense 9, 34% rostership. Opponent points against in Houston is just over 5. But again, Davis Mills under center. Jacksonville and Houston already faced off back in week 3, and it was a real barn burner with Jacksonville winning 17-10. They so obviously gave up the 10 points. They had 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. I mean, they've been pretty consistent in racking up some sacks week in and week out. Interceptions, they have a ton. I mean, they're more consistent with those than they are sacks, actually. So I think this could be a good weekend for the sacked lunch, and Jacksonville's going to dominate.
Yeah, I think I picked them. I had them as my streamer for the article last week, I think, and they're just very opportunistic, is what it is. And so if they're getting the turnovers, then it works. If not, they're not very good. It's kind of like them and the Bears. Like them and the Bears are the same when it comes to that. So
yeah,
but Bears are a terrible real life defense who's really good for fantasy. They are terrible in real life, but so for some reason in fantasy you can get a lot of points out of them because they get picks and sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, all right, that's what we got for the show. Thanks, AJ, for your top streamers. Closing out here. Oh, AJ gets cut off for this one because he wasn't back. Sorry, I went back to the old one.
My power's still on.
I didn't know it cut you out from that completely.
I thought you said thanks, AJ. And I thought you just cut him off. I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
man, if you don't show up around here, you are
Later,
out.
man.
You are out.
That's what you get for poking fun of me.
For kicking your ass.
It wasn't
and mentioning it numerous times on the show.
That was pretty bad. I looked at the score. I don't usually open up anything until Sunday night. I looked at the score. I was like, oh my God, who am I playing? Oh crap, I'm playing AJ. That's not going to be good. I was like, oh, I'm going to hear about that one.
All 5-4 in that league. I just pulled it up while you were talking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
3 of us happen to be 3, 4, and 5. We are separated. We are all 5-4, separated by 33 points.
That's ridiculous.
It's always been a competitive league, man. Very competitive league. So
yeah.
All right. On that note, we will close it out. Good luck, everybody, in week 10. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave those comments, and see you next week. Peace.
Go Packers.
Boom.